Hi, welcome to my channel. My name is Irina, and in this video I will show you how to make this dress. The pattern features elastic across the front and back bodice and a sleeve cup, gathered skirt with some optional ruffles at the bottom, and a puff sleeve. It does not have any zippers or button openings, which makes it a very good pattern for a beginner. I absolutely love the full skirt, additional ruffle at the bottom, and cute puff sleeves. Let's start.
Start by selecting the right fabric. For this project, light to medium weight woven fabrics like cotton, linen, chiffon, or organza work best. Since the dress is unlined, avoid using fabrics that are too sheer. I'm using 100% polyester satin for its ease of handling and its lovely subtle shine. Now let's cut out all the pieces. You will need bodice cut to unfold, sleeve cut to unfold, skirt cut to unfold, ruffle cut to unfold, and binding cut to unfold. Take bodice piece. Fold the straight top edge of the neckline 3/8 of an inch wrong sides together and press. Fold the neckline over another 3/8 of an inch and press again. Pin in place. Sew along the edge of your fold. Repeat for the remaining bodice piece. Cut a piece of 1/4 of an inch wide elastic, attach a safety pin to each side of the elastic piece, pin one right outside the neckline casing opening, and use the other safety pin to guide the elastic through the casing. Pin in place with 1/4 of an inch of elastic extending beyond the bodice on both sides. Stitch at the sides to secure the ends of elastic. Stretch to distribute the fabric evenly. Trim excess elastic at each side. Repeat for the remaining bodice piece, then place two bodice pieces right sides together. Pin the straight side edges. Sew the side seams. Finish the raw edges using a serger or zigzag stitch. Now onto the sleeve. Press the bottom edge of the sleeve 1/4 of an inch wrong sides together to create a memory crease. Fold the edge of the sleeve another 1 inch wrong sides together. Fold the sleeve right sides together vertically. The memory folds created earlier should be unfolded. Pin in place, sew the side seam. Finish the seam. Fold the bottom of the sleeve along the memory folds and press with iron. Sew along the inner edge of your fold. Leave a 1 inch opening in the casing to insert the elastic. Backstitch at the beginning and end. Measure 3/8 of an inch down from the first line of stitching and sew around the circumference of the sleeve. Cut a piece of 1/4 of an inch wide elastic. Attach a safety pin to each side of the elastic piece. Pin one right outside the sleeve casing opening and use the other safety pin to guide the elastic through the casing. Overlap the two ends of the elastic by 1/2 inch and sew the elastic ends together. Be careful not to twist them, using a wide zigzag stitch, and trim any excess elastic. Sew the hole closed. Turn the sleeve right side out, match the seam of the sleeve to the side seam of the bodice, right sides together. Pin in place along the armhole opening from neckline to neckline. Sew sleeve to the bodice along the armhole opening, backstitching at each end. Finish the raw edge of the sleeve. Take the binding piece. Fold each long raw edge 1/4 of an inch toward the center and press to create memory folds. Align the bias tape with the sleeve, placing the right sides together. Match the long raw edge of the bias strip with the edge of the sleeve's shoulder. Fold the ends of the bias tape at each side so they meet the top of the bodice, and then pin the bias strip in place along the sleeve. Sew 1/4 of an inch from the raw edge along the memory fold. Press the bias facing and seam allowance upwards away from the sleeve. Fold the bias facing to the inside. Use your fingers to carefully fold under the raw edge of the bias strip by 1/4 of an inch along the memory fold, pinning in place as you go. Stitch close to the inner folded edge of the bias facing. Cut a piece of 1/4 inch elastic and attach a safety pin to each end. Secure one pin just outside the bias tape opening, then use the other pin to guide the elastic through the casing. Pin the elastic in place, leaving 1/4 inch extending beyond the bias tape casing on both sides. With the right side facing up, stitch along the side of the sleeve to secure the elastic ends. Stretch the elastic as you sew to evenly distribute the fabric. And we are done with the top. Now let's make a skirt. Sew the side seams of the 2 skirt pieces. Finish the raw edges using a serger or zigzag stitch and press towards the back of the skirt. Sew 2 basting stitches 1/4 inch and 3/8 inch below the skirt waistline. Pull on the bobbin threads to gather the skirt to match the width of the bodice. Insert the bodice into the skirt right sides together. Align at the side seams and pin all the way around. Sew around the waistline with a 1/2 inch seam allowance. Finish the seam using a serger or zigzag stitch. Now let's add the ruffle. Sew 2 ruffle pieces at both short ends to create one continuous loop of fabric. Finish the seams. You can hem the bottom of the ruffle using your preferred method. I'll be using a rolled hem foot to create a rolled hem along the bottom raw edge, which is the quickest way to finish long ruffles and skirts. Alternatively, you can sew a double-folded hem or use a serger. Next, we'll sew a gathering stitch along the top of the ruffle, just as we did for the skirt. Stitch 2 rows of basting stitches, one at 1/4 inch and the other at 3/8 inch below the top edge. Turn the loop wrong side out. Insert the skirt into the loop right sides together. Align at the side seams. Sew with a 1/2 inch seam allowance. Finish the seam. And here is the final result. You are amazing and I'm grateful for your support of my small business. Every month I give away one of my patterns for free on my website. Click on the link in the description to download this month's free pattern. This way you can try my patterns before making any purchases. If you're an adventurous sewist and would like to be the first to try my new patterns free of charge, follow me on Instagram @MadeEasily for pattern tester calls. As always, it was a pleasure sewing with you. See you next time.